Okay, good evening everyone. So let's start this weekly webinar. So before I go through the usual stuff, right? Since this is the last week of the so-called free trial to the Patreon content, right? I'd like to do a quick sort of like a short advertising for my content. So do bear with it. Give me a moment, huh? Okay, so as you all know, I have mentioned that most of the stuff on Patreon content will be made available for the public until the end of November. So starting from next week onwards, most of the content will be blocked already. So I'll just quickly like to go through what this Patreon is about, and so that if you are still interested, if you find that this all this content has been useful to you, if you find it helpful in your trade journal, right? At least you can, I mean, in your trade journey, you can sort of support by subscribing to the content so that you have continuous access to the stuff that I usually share. Lah. So firstly, when you come to my Patreon page, right, you will see this membership level. So if you are subscribed to the $10, right, what you will get is you will only get the screenshot of the scanner result. Lah. So this scanner result is referring to posts like this. So you will get this only. So this level, right, it is mainly for folks who are already very experienced in trading. You have a very good trading system. You have very good risk management. You just don't know what shares to trade. You just don't know. You just don't have the time to look through the market for which counter to trade, what companies to buy, right? So you can just subscribe to this $10 one. I will post all the result from my scanner, and you can trade this lah. But of course, just because the company shows up on the scanner, it doesn't mean it is 100%. So you do need to open all these chart one by one and see which are the one that you personally prefer, because some can be a breakout trade, some can be buying at support. Maybe you are someone who prefer breakout trade, so you might want to choose those chart pattern that does have a breakout trade. So it is still hugely dependent on yourself, on your technology, on your strategy lah. Okay, it's very manual. So that's why it is the lowest level lah. It's only $10 per month. And if you wish to know all the trade that I made, that I posted, that I shared, they are all taken from the scanner, meaning that counter shows up on the scanner one time or another, one day or another, and I make the trade. There is nothing that I entered that doesn't show up on the scanner. So that is one thing that I can guarantee you lah. So if you see me making certain trade, posting certain counter, certain analysis, right, you can be sure that they have shown up on the scanner. So that's for the $10 only. So you will get just the scanner only, and they are posted every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at every 10 p.m. local time. So 10 p.m. is the latest lah. It can be slightly earlier, around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Mainly because I want to post it after the Hong Kong and Singapore market has closed. Because when the market is open, on the counter are running, right, then the scanner is like not really completed yet. So only when the market is closed, the scanner have a more accurate listing lah. Who knows, perhaps towards the end of the market day, maybe last minute something run up, and if I post the scanner too early, right, you might miss that counter also, which is why I will post it after the Singapore and Hong Kong market close. Which means if you look at the scanner, you can actually look at the Hong Kong and Singapore scanner result to plan for the next day. But around 10 p.m., it is also just right before the US market. So you can look at the US scanner to sort of prepare for the coming US market opening lah. So the reason why it is 10 p.m. is mainly because some of the days I am working, and my work ends around, I will reach home around 9 p.m. like that. So I will quickly run the scanner and post it as early as I can lah. So you have time to look through US scanner if you are trading US before the US market open. So that is for the $10 level. So for the $20 level, right, you will have the scanner. Plus, you will also have two extra things. One is you have access to all the stock analysis that I made, which have the support level, resistance level, and the stop loss level, which is the usual stuff that you see lah, which is this kind of post. So let's say if you are not under the $20, right? All these posts they will become blocked out lah. And if you try to look at it, it will say, please subscribe $20 per month before you can look at it lah. So I will not be blocking out completely. There will still be some that I will make public, but majority of it will be blocked out. This is because it is to be fair to those who are subscribing lah. I mean, there are people who paid money to subscribe, so it is only fair that I make all these things available for them. But of course, there will still be a few, one or two that I will try to post publicly to sort of, um, um, not block off everything lah. It's not fair to those who just want to come in see just CC only also. Okay, so you will have this, and the second thing is you will also have the SGX Fund Flow Chart. So the Fund Flow Chart is referring to this Fund Flow Chart. So basically, this Fund Flow is taken from SGX website. So SGX give you a report on the fund flow every week. So this is a weekly fund flow. But the thing is, they just give you the raw number with a lot of data and in a very complicated Excel sheet. So what I do is I extract out all the data and I plot it into a very nice chart like this, so that you can look at it and visually you can see how the smart money is doing, how the retailers are doing, and you can sort of plan for the next week. But of course, if you have the time yourself, you can do this chart by yourself lah, and also you can update this chart every weekly lah. So if you look at the raw data here, right, I actually update all the data manually by myself. Every week I will input all the data here to come out with this chart. And also another thing that you will notice here is I no longer share this Google chart already. I have blocked it off, mainly because I'm working on a new thing which you can see under chart proprietary lah. So what it does is it's called the significant event indicator. So what I'm hoping to get out of this indicator is that it will preemptively warn me before certain big stock market move happen. I'm still tweaking. It is not finalized yet, but one is finalized, one is done, right? I will definitely sort of announce it, make it public, and let the public test run it for a while to see how it goes. And once everything is finalized, then of course I will definitely package it under the Patreon content also lah. So one of the example that I can tell you is somewhere around early, you can see here, early January, February, the significant indicator, I'll call it SEI lah. So the SEI kind of spike up. So it's sort of showing, sort of giving a early warning about the COVID-19 coming up here. Then after that, towards the um May, June, July, that period like that, it spike up again. It is sort of giving a pre-warning that perhaps SDI is recovering soon. So it works something like that. And of course, right now we see that SDI does recovers lah. It what it aims to do is it aims to predict a change in market trend before the trend actually happen. For now, it is able to do that, but it is unable to do one thing. It is unable to predict if it's going up or going down. So if I see it here like this, right, I wouldn't know that, oh, COVID-19 going to happen, the chart is going to go down. I will assume that chart is going to go up and get the wrong direction lah. So right now I'm trying to tweak it in a way where it can sort of tell the direction as well. But of course, it is still work in progress. I think it's still quite a long way lah. But if you are someone who is been in my Facebook group for long enough and you follow like all the time, right? I mean, rest assured that one day, maybe 3 months from now, 6 months from now, once I get it going, I will definitely share it. And it is my personal wish that I get it going as fast as possible lah, because it is not only helpful to the public, it's also very, very helpful to me as well. Okay, so after that, so this is for the $20. So $40, what you have is you have everything in the $10 and 20, but the $40 you will also have access to this webinar. So this webinar is actually under $40 lah. So if you are not under this, right, next week onwards, you no longer have access to this webinar. So I'm really sorry about that, because once again, it is to be fair to those who are subscribing. And secondly, you will have access to my weekly portfolio updates. Where is it? Where did I write it? You'll be able to view my portfolio, current open trade, current close trade, every week lah. So I will update it every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So I actually update it today, which is this one. So I will give you a rough guide on my current performance, what are the counters that I'm holding, and also what are the transactions that I take. So actually for this week, I didn't do much of trading, but I also go through the performance of other analysis that I made, but I did not trade lah. But I just sort of made and how they are doing lah. So you have access to this under the $40, and you have access to this webinar, and you can also contact me via Patreon, and I will reply to your questions lah. So I actually do have quite a lot of people contacting me on Patreon, asking me certain questions, and I will try my best to reply to you as fast as possible. So if you are a subscriber and you need to ask me something, please chat with me through Patreon. Mainly because if you chat with me through Facebook, right, I have literally hundreds of unread messages that I don't know from who, because I'm not someone. My Facebook is not something like I have 5,000 over friends like that. My Facebook friend list is very small, because I did not intend it to be a business account like that lah. Currently it's like a half personal, half business line. So I do limit quite a lot on who get into my friend list. So if you message me but you are not on my friend list, right, I won't see your message one. It will probably be hidden somewhere lah, or I might not catch it lah. But if you message me on Patreon, right, I will know that you are a subscriber, and I will get a specialized notification from Patreon, and I will respond to it much faster lah. So do message me on Patreon if you are a subscriber. So that's basically the end of my advertisement. So if you like the content, if the content have helped you, right, I do hope that you continue to be the subscriber lah, even though the so-called free period have ended. Okay, so with that said, let's go through the usual stuff lah. So fund flow analysis. Let's come back to the fund flow. So SGX Fund Flow from last week, right? For this week, we can see that there is a slight dip in the institutional buying, but it is still positive nonetheless. It is still above the zero line, which you can see here. And of course, on the cumulative chart, you can see there is a sharp turn on the institutional buying already, and the retail is also having a sharp turn. So during this 3 weeks, right, it has been a very, very bullish month. And this whole entire November has been a very good week, very bullish week. And what you can see from the fund flow is that retailer has been selling, and they are probably actually taking profit, while the smart money, the institutional, the bank, they are buying up quite a lot. So I still believe that actually on the very first week of the rally, right? Let me bring up the STI chart. So if I go to the weekly chart, right, actually right after this week, I have sort of mentioned that we are going to have a very, very bullish weeks coming forward, because the institutional are buying, and we do have a very 3 bullish week. Of course, this one a bit neutral lah. So let's say even if you miss this first week altogether, you should have gotten a lot of profit from this 2 week already. So with that said, we are still very bullish in a long mid-term perspective, probably the next 6 months, 1 year, that kind of time frame lah. So but since this week there is a slight dip in buying, right? What I will expect next week is probably I will expect the up move to slow down a bit. There will be probably a lot of retailer will start to take profit, and if a lot of retailer are taking profit, right, smart money will not blindly buy into high price where retailer are selling. So what will happen is smart money will just not do anything. They will let the retailer sell, which will cause the price to go down. And when price go down, they will go down in a low volume, because retailer selling, smart money is not buying. So price will go down, but it will go down in a low volume. So after it go down in a low volume, and when smart money sort of feels that okay, the selling is over, right, they will come in again and they will continue to push the price. So next week I think STI will probably take a break, and you can probably take a break also. Probably you can try not to look at things like the blue chip anymore. Maybe Singtel have run up enough, SETs have run up enough, SIA have run up enough, probably DBS have already gone up quite enough. So you can sort of take a break from all these big counters, and perhaps you might want to look at the penny counters, you might want to look at the mid cap counters, sort of to rotate your fund lah. Because smart money does rotate their funds around, and they don't always keep pushing the same thing lah, which is why sometimes when all the blue chips are going up, right, all the penny and the mid cap, they are doing quite badly. But now that the blue chips are start to slow down, maybe the fund have gone into pennies and the mid cap counters lah. So try to widen your scope. Don't always die. I want to trade Singtel. I want to trade Singtel. I die want to trade Singtel. Then don't be that kind of one dimensional. Try to look at the entire market itself, which is why my scanner is there to help you lah. So actually around this whole period, you can see that a lot of counters that came out on my scanner, they were mid caps and penny counters. But right after this week, you will notice most of the scanner result are actually blue chip counters. So the scanner itself, it will try to pull out whatever that the smart money is in lah. Although I cannot tell you how it is doing it, but it does somehow manage to shortlist where the smart money is lah. So you can look at the scanner to sort of like see where the money is going. Okay, so since I have already gone through this, right? I've gone through the SDI as well. So this is a weekly chart. Let's quickly look at the daily. So you can see that we have a very first bearish engulfing candle here. This is a bearish engulfing candle. You can see the price sort of stagnant there. So what I will expect in the coming weeks, right? It will probably dip a bit, maybe zigzag a bit, sideways a bit, and there will probably a support established lah, but we don't know where the support is. So you just let it be, let the support establish first, and it will probably go sideways a bit to let the selling happen, let the selling dry out. Once the selling is dry out, right, then it can probably do another push lah. So once again, I would like to emphasize that in the next coming week, try not to focus on the big cap counter really, but maybe put your focus onto the mid cap. Mid cap counter include things like UMS lah, or the Union Gas. Last week Union Gas have gone up. A lot of pennies counter are running. You can look at penny counter like Rex International. Okay, that's the only one on the top of my head lah. But like for example, Aspen, Vic Plus. Last week Biolytics was running also like out of nowhere. So all these counters, you can see the money is back into all this kind of counter lah. Okay, so right now what we have with SDI is that price have broke through the resistance here. The resistance was formed here, price broke through, but it will probably come back down to retest this resistance, and hopefully this will become a support. So bear in mind, I am saying hopefully. I'm not saying this will definitely become a support. So you don't go and predict something that have not happened yet, but rather wait for it, let it happen. If it happen, then we see if we can continue to further buy or not. Okay, so next week, very important. Okay, so with that said, let's go to some of the specific counters lah. We start off with the Singapore counters. Okay, so DBS. So DBS have been a very fast and furious run. There is one guy in my Nimbus capital trading course. So currently my trading course is actually towards the end already. We started in August. So the first batch of course will end of January lah. So what is currently going on is I have actually taught my trainee everything that they need to know, as in how to trade, how to manage their risk, how to manage mentally. They have been taught everything already. So right now until January, what they are doing is they are just basically trading. And every time they trade, I will look at their trade. I will let them know my opinion, and they choose their own counter. Sometimes I will help them out by giving them a few counter if I see that they are struggling to make any trade. One of the guy in my training um program, he actually managed to catch DBS from around, I think, $22 all the way until currently. He have locked some profit, but he's still holding up until 25 like that lah. And the thing is that the DBS was actually thrown out by the scanner itself. So if you actually do decide to come for the course, right, you'll be given the scanner for free for a lifetime. You don't need to pay that $10 every month. You'll be given for a life. Not only you'll be given the scanner for a lifetime, right? You'll be taught how to use it properly to make your trades lah. Yeah. So aside from that, what you can see from DBS is that we are reaching this whole area already. So price is reaching this whole area. So you cannot expect DBS to power through like this, mainly because there's a lot of transaction in this area, a lot of volume in that area. So you will see selling start to come in. So if you are only thinking of buying DBS right now, right, please no, do not buy right now. The time has passed, long gone already. You were given 4 weeks to buy. If you did not buy on the first week, okay, understandable. You don't want to catch the bottom. If you did not buy on the second week, okay, I close one eye. Maybe you think that this is the resistance, then might come down. It's okay, but you third week never buy, fourth week never buy, right? It's definitely too late to chase now already, because we are in a very tough resistance to break. So most likely SDI will drop. DBS will probably the one that is leading the drop, but the drop is not going to be like drop all the way down. Probably it will drop to create a higher low. So I am looking at that kind of movement also lah. Personally, I do not trade big caps counter. I do not trade SDI constituent, but I am looking to take profit on my long-term counters, which is basically SDI ETF lah. So I am looking to cash out my SDI ETF in the coming weeks lah. Okay, next one, APEC Reality. So APEC Reality is one of the counters that I share sometimes back. I'm not sure when was it, but currently, unfortunately, if you got it sometime earlier around here, I think it was around somewhere here. Then after that, I shared it again somewhere here. So if you bought it somewhere here, then okay, at least you are in the money lah. If you bought it somewhere here, okay, you are at least in a bit of money also, but unfortunately it is a bit stuck lah. So my mantra is always, every time I throw out a counter, I analyze a counter, I'll always give a stop loss. You as a follower, your decision is to ask yourself, can you follow that stop loss? Can you handle that stop loss? If you can handle that stop loss, right, as long as the stop loss does not hit, you do not exit. You simply keep the trade. So it is your responsibility to ensure that you don't buy so much that you have so many capital stuck in one counter if it start to go sideways, because we definitely cannot predict which one going sideways, which one gonna chong up. For example, high P chong up a lot, it went up a lot, but it is impossible for me to predict. But what I can do is I actually have quite a lot of counters that I entered. I have Union Gas, I have Kimley, I have let me look at what else I have. Yeah, okay. I have Kimley, I have Union Gas, I have CMNC Gold Mine, which are all stuck, but I only buy a bit of them. And majority of my currently my capital is in high P and fuel cell lah. So it is your duty, is your responsibility as a follower, as a trader, to ensure that you don't over trade and get a lot of your money stuck inside one counter lah. So my analysis can help you only so much. So there's a lot of things that you still need to make your own decision lah. So APEC Reality, although it is stuck, right, it is not like doing very bad. And if this resistance is broken, right, I think it still have a good chance that it can go further upward. It is just that we don't know when is it going to happen. It will probably go sideways for a bit before it can happen, or maybe next week Monday it will chong up already. But I am still waiting for this lah. Secondly, let's go on to the next counter, China Sunshine. So I think most of you caught China Sunshine probably sometime somewhere around here, I think. And right now we are sort of going very near to the TP level around 5.2 lah. So hopefully this uptrend continue. If you have bought somewhere earlier, you want to TP early, I wouldn't blame you also, given that this is going sideways. But if you are someone who chased late and caught late, right? So, okay, one thing I want to share also is that whenever I post a analysis, right? Whenever I post an analysis, number one, I do not make trades on all the analysis that I post for one very, very simple reason. That is, I don't have unlimited capital. If it is possible, I will want to take all the trade that I post, but I don't have unlimited capital, so it is simply not possible lah. But I still take most of my all the trades that I take, it is from whatever that I posted. Like, it's just that some of them I did not take the trade. So whenever I post something, right, there is no such thing as, oh, this one I feel much better. This one I feel can go up much higher chances than that one. Is not really like that. Whatever I post, all of them, I do feel that they have equal chances, which is why I post it. But it is impossible to be 100% right all the time. But the thing is, if you look at all my trades, right, actually only about of the 50-60 counter that I posted, maybe only 4 or 5 had hit stop loss. The others are either they hit their TP or they are probably stuck there for a while before they will eventually hit their TP. So it is quite a good high probability. If you are facing issue, most likely that you are chasing late or you are prematurely, as you get impatient and you prematurely exit. So those are the things that you have to take note. And whenever each time I post a counter, right, I tend to go into the market on market price the next day. I don't wait for it to come back. I don't wait for it to retrace unless I specifically say wait for it to retrace. But most of the time, the next day I will go in ready. For example, Union Gas, if I see this, right, the next day Monday morning, I will straight away go in at the market price ready. Okay, so next one. What is this? Okay, Innotech. Innotech also I made an analysis quite some time back, but I think you can find it in this post lah. Most of the touch, yeah, most of the stuff you can find it in this post. So China Sunshine Innotech, slightly short of the I think 1 cent away from the TP price, but I think you can still continue to hold it. If you are holding this from my entry price and you decide to TP, I wouldn't blame you also. I mean, it has gotten quite good enough lah, going upwards. Next one, of course, Sun Power. Okay, Sun Power is one of the counter. I think when I posted, it was somewhere here. So you are not really in a big of a profit if you enter at the market price. But Sun Power have one very important thing going for it, is that it has broken through a very it has broken through a very tough resistance that was around 2018. It has broken through. So most likely it might rest a bit before it start to go further up. So you notice that my SL level given is actually below this resistance. So if you follow my trade, but you go and place your own SL very tight, maybe it retrace, you will get stop out already. So my stop loss are all sort of, I would say, strategically placed so that whenever the price retrace, right, most of the time you will not get hit. Most of the time, probably 80-90% of the time, if it retrace, you will not get hit and you can continue to ride. So the worst thing that can happen to you is you place your stop loss round, the thing retrace, take out your stop, and then it goes up. Then you will be like, alamak, like, wow, how come, like, why you missed the trade, blah blah blah. Then what you do is maybe next time you don't put stop loss ready. Then when you don't put stop loss, right, what happens is the whole thing go all the way down and you lose a lot of money. So all these things I have factored in. I have worked out. I have over, in my 10 years of trading, I have over like 400-500 trades that I have taken, and I have worked out all these things nicely already lah. So as long as you follow my stop loss, most of the time you'll be fine. Okay, high P is of course the star in my current portfolio, my current trades. Gotten it from here, I added here, and I also took profit along the way, which is why you can see in my portfolio, that Under close position, I have high P with profit taken already 9,000. But in the open position, right, I also still have 2,400 running, still open, haven't closed out yet. So this is one of the strategy that I personally use and also taught in my course, is that whenever such a trend happen, right, you will be taught how to properly take profit and then ensure that you can still ride the trend. So let's say you buy here, right? You buy at the bottom, and when price go up a bit, right? Most of the time you will take your profit fully. And when you take your profit fully, right, you'll probably be very happy that you got this amount of profit. But what happens is you're gonna lose out the rest of the thing, the rest of the run if you sort of take profit too early lah. So what the reason why you take profit too early is you are trying to predict the top. You are trying to predict that, okay, price gonna go down already. This should be the top lah. It has hit the resistance lah. It should be go down. So when you make this kind of prediction, right? Maybe sometimes you are right, but sometimes you are wrong. When you are wrong, right, you will going to miss out on the huge run that you could have gotten a lot more profit from lah. So what my strategy does is that we don't try to predict the top. We just take profit and we leave a bit of shares to ride the trend, and each time we have like the trend keep go up, right, we will add more shares to the to our position lah, so that we can keep trying to ride the trend. And along the way, we will also shift our stop loss to sort of ensure that we don't incur any loss. So what can happen if you don't follow this kind of trading system, right, is that you have a very nice position here, price go up, and then you are in a lot of profit. But when price retrace back down, right, you see all your profit disappear, and then you end up being very emotional, very scared, and then you just, okay lah, like I don't want my profit to disappear already, so you take all the profit here. Then what happened after you take all your profit here is that the stock continue to go up. So if you frequently counter this, right, it is mainly because you are trying to predict something, you don't have a proper system, and you don't know how to change your stop loss, adjust your stop loss, you don't know how to add position properly, you don't know how to ride the trend properly. So the thing is, even if I am recommending high P to a lot of people, right, not many people will be able to have the kind of result that I have, mainly because they are not taught properly how to ride the trend and lock some profit and minimize their risk lah. So that's one of the things that is taught in my course. So unfortunately, in the Patreon alone, is not something that I can share out just like that. Mainly because those who came for my course, they paid about quite a sum of money, and not only that, it does require a certain level of supervision in order to learn it. Like, it's not something that I can type it out in a post and then you'll be able to grasp it immediately. Okay, so high P currently, if you do not have any position, the current position right now, right, current price right now, right, it is slightly dangerous to chase. Really slightly dangerous is because you are very near the resistance here, and you are very near the resistance here. So if you chase there, and if it start to retrace, right, you are going to be stuck at the top there. And the worst position to be in when you are trading stock is to start at the top lah. So currently, if you are not in any position, right, I don't suggest you trying to go in. If you already have a position somewhere earlier, I suggest that you take some profit. Probably you don't need to take everything, but take some of the profit out and maybe leave a bit to see whether it can break out or not lah. So if it does break out, right, then you can actually make another breakout trade and add some more lah. So for those who are looking to enter, maybe wait for a breakout trade. I mean, if the breakout trade happen, I will definitely post an analysis lah. So if you do not want to spot it, right, you can just wait for me to sort of shout high P in the Facebook lah. Okay, next one, Franken. Okay, so Franken is a counter that tends to run together with high P lah, but in this case, high P is definitely the much stronger counter. But Franken isn't so bad, mainly because last week it broke through this resistance. It broke through the resistance. And currently, it seems like it has much more room upward also. So probably it will start to go to around 1.2 like that. 1.2 like that. Hopefully. I mean, so the entry for high P came in around at this counter. When I analyze, when I put out high P setup, it was this counter here. It was this candle, this green candle here. So there were quite a few people were shocked by, not shocked, they get impatient within this small retrace. And then I know a few people who entered and then they couldn't handle this retrace, and then they end up exiting prematurely, and then they sort of missed this move. So for Franken, right, the stop loss was actually given here, because if any retrace happen, if the uptrend is still intact but retrace happen, right, it will not break here. It will just retrace, you just let it be, and then it will continue to go up. So it is, once again, to emphasize, it is very important you stick to my stop loss. Okay, so for those who are still holding, right, I think you can continue to hold this, and since it has broken out already, right, I think the next entry is probably too late already lah. So I would not recommend anyone to chase this counter until maybe I see a more safer setup. Then I will definitely post it. Next one will be iFast. So iFast currently at this moment going sideways. So since it is going sideways, right, I don't like to buy during sideways. Although there are some counter I buy and they get stuck in the sideways movement, right? It is not my intention to get stuck there. It's just that I buy it with the hope that it will immediately go up, but they get stuck. So those are unavoidable, but you do not purposely buy into a sideways movement. Whenever I buy, I usually buy the breakout. But sometimes it gets stuck like that, then that one is bo pian lah, but eventually it does break out. So but in this case, right, it is in a sideways, like this. So you don't go and buy into this sideways and complain that you get stuck there. So currently, this one I'm still watching. I'm still watching for a good breakout. So when a good breakout happens, then we will continue to ride this uptrend. Okay, so the reason why you don't buy into a sideways is that nobody know it will break out. Who knows this one is a distribution, then it break down and then you are stuck because you prematurely entered. So next one, AEM. So AEM, as you all know, I personally taken my loss on AEM, so I don't really, I can sort of view this counter with slightly more objectivity lah. So currently this support is, sorry, my line very bad. Okay, so currently this support is still somewhat holding. And as long as this support holding, I think those people who are inside AEM, you should be fine. Of course, the stop loss should be somewhere around here, 3.1, or I'm not sure where my maybe 3.15 like that. My personal stop loss was at 3.3 and then I got cut off. But of course, sometimes, as you all know, even a very frequent season trader like me, right? I don't always follow my own advice. I sort of make my own mistake and then I got cut off. So that's personally my bad. But I think as long as this particular support at 3.28, 3.3 holds, right, you should be fine. And of course, if the support is at 3.28, 3.3, right, you don't put your stop loss right at 3.28, 3.1. You give it a bit of buffer, a bit of breathing room, and then probably around 3.15 like that. That stop loss is I think it will be fine. But of course, if it come down and hit the stop loss, right, you simply take the loss and just move on. So even though when I hit the stop loss at 3.3 and I think that perhaps my stop loss could have been lower, I did not shift my stop loss. I just take the loss and move on. So you should never shift the stop loss when you are in position. Just follow your trade as strictly as possible. So next one, of course, SPH, you have actually seen my analysis here, my latest analysis here. Actually, I'm quite bullish on SPH in the coming week also. Why do I say it's bullish? Mainly because of course, you have this uptrend and we are forming a flag here, and And this flag, right, we don't really know whether it is like a preparation for more upside, or it is just going to sort of distribute and then sell down. So we do not know that. So we do not want to assume anything, which is why I mentioned that you only buy when the price break out. If you prematurely buy in, price can break down and you are going to take the loss. So if that's the case, right, even if you have a stop loss there, you're going to hit the stop loss and then you're out already. So it is much better that you buy the breakout, and let's say after you buy the breakout, really sui come down, right, then that one is really bopian. You just accept your loss. But what you don't want is you don't want to like unnecessarily go and buy here, put your stop loss there, and then you will gonna stop out. Next one, Hong Leong. Okay, so Hong Leong is a counter for the sharp eyes. It came out in my scanner quite a few times. If you caught it, then congratulations. I think there were 1 or 2 person who caught it. They messaged me saying thank you, but I personally didn't catch it lah. So what happened here is it had a very good run. Then after that it stopped for a bit. It's like a bullish flag lah, mainly because definitely understandable. You have a resistance here. It's gonna stop a bit. So on Friday it tried to sort of break out, but it does have some selling there. But the selling isn't really that bearish, mainly because price still closes above the resistance. So because price still closes above the resistance, right, I think there is quite a good probability that it can continue to go upward. So if you are looking to buy this, right, your stop loss can be somewhere around 5.9 here, okay? This will be a safe place. If you put your stop loss here, it can just come back down, go sideways, and then go up, and then you'll get stop out lah. So that's Hong Leong. Is one of the more, I would say, promising counter. Next one, Union. Okay, Union Gas. I'm not sure who stayed with me for the whole of this period. So my first entry that I made was, I think, this candle. Of course, in hindsight, it seems like I confirm get start lah, blah blah blah. But I tell you, if you look like this, right? It seems very bullish, right? Which is why I enter here. Because I'm expecting it to go straight up like that. But of course, not what you expect is not always what happen lah. So price does go sideways, which is why my stop loss have account for this kind of sideways movement, which is why the stop loss was somewhere around 375. I'm not sure where the stop loss is. Wait, let me check. Where was my stop loss. Union Gas. 40 cents. Stop loss was at 40 cents. Okay, so if I move this whole thing, oops, quick, yes. If I move this whole thing, you can see that 40 cents never hit. Because all this has been accounted in my stop loss really. The fact that there's the possibility that it will go sideways, right? It has been accounted in my stop loss. So what happened is when it finally break out, right? You are still in the trend. So what you actually need to do for this whole period is, right, nothing. You simply just let it be, go and do whatever you want. Don't go and stare at it and like, alamak, why not going up lah, what lah, this lah, that lah. As long as your stop loss is not hit, just you can just let it be. And like for me, I just do my own style. I go and play video game. I'm not really looking at it. And one day my one of my cosmates just tell me, hey, your Union Gas running up. Then I'm like, yeah, like yeah, don't overly stress yourself, because when you enter a trade, you already know the stop loss. You know how much you are going to lose, so you already know the amount you are going to lose. So just put the trade and then let it be, can ready. Next one, Thomson Medical. Okay, this one slightly controversial, not controversial lah, but more of a gamble rather than a proper setup. So if you are in the gambling mood, right, if you are in the mood to sort of speculate, because this is a very cheap counter, right, if you have like spare $1,000 $2,000 lying around that you don't mind losing a bit of it, right, you can actually play this counter, put your stop loss here, and I think if it goes up, right, you are good to go lah. I'm hoping for this kind of movement here like this lah. So because it is a very low counter, right? I mean, it's a very cheap counter, right? Even if it goes up to like the resistance here, from the current price, right, is, oops, what on earth is that? Sorry, even if it goes up to just the resistance here, right, you can see that it's worth 17% already. Okay, because it's a small penny counter. I'm personally in this trade, I can tell you that the only reason why I did not post it is because I entered it with the expectation that on the day itself it will run up, but the thing is it doesn't run up lah. So it was intended as an intraday trade. Is so I don't, as I mentioned last week, I don't post my intraday trade because I don't want people to anyhow chase. But for this case, right, at the end of the day, it didn't go up and it seems like other people can enter, so which is why I'm sharing now. Next one, Kimley. Okay, Kimley also same thing as Union Gas. I think when my first entry was somewhere here. It's not in Patreon, but I show this counter on Facebook. You can definitely go to my Facebook and search for Kimley, and it will probably show up around this area lah. So it has been going like very sideways, but it's still going up nonetheless lah. So if you are in this trade, right, just all I can say is just be patient lah. It is no doubt slowly going up. Scion. Okay, Scion is another I would say a gamble trade, much like Thompson. So once again, I do not share this because it is slightly risky and I don't want a lot of people who do not know what's going on to go and anyhow trade this counter lah. But for Scion, right, I'm actually expecting this counter to break this resistance, 275, and then hopefully hit 350 like that. Hopefully hit 350 like that, mainly because we have a buy up here, and as long as you set your your support like around 20 cents, maybe 20 cents is not good lah. Slightly lower, around 175 like that. My stop loss is at 1775. I'm personally in this counter also. And once again, same thing. It was intended as a intraday trade lah. So I'm hoping this counter to shoot up something like this. So as long as you can handle the stop loss at 175, right, you are good to go. So once again, even if this counter hit the resistance at 350, right, and it still remain in a downtrend, right, what you will get is you actually get about 46% profit in just that rebound to 35 cents. So this kind of low risk, high reward, I tend to be more aggressive. I tend to take this kind of trade quite often also. But the only thing is I don't share it as often, mainly because it's easy for people to chase, and then because they are unable to handle the trade, they are unable to manage the trade properly, they tend to get burned. So for this, right, once again, like Thompson, if you have 1,000 spare, 1,000, 2,000 dollar lying around, you can actually sort of play this counter lah. Okay, so let's go on to a bit of Hong Kong counter. So this is one of the Hong Kong counter setup that I found. PAX Global. I'm not really sure what is that also, but we have a very good movement on Friday, and I'm hoping that it can actually break through here. So with that said, your stop loss should be somewhere around 4.5 like that. So you need to be able to handle this stop loss. So any counter, right, you can actually chase. The only thing that you need to worry about is whether you can handle the stop loss or not. So this stop loss is, I would say, is the best location to place a stop loss for this trade lah. So if you cannot handle this stop loss, right, then you don't take this trade. But if you can, right, I think this is a very good trade to take because I would say it can go up to $6, $6.50, $7, that kind of level lah, for Hong Kong counter. Okay, next one. Next one is CSC, also Hong Kong counter. So this one slightly more, a bit more, I would say the chart isn't as nice as the first one lah. The chart isn't as nice as this counter, but I do see a bit of potential, mainly because of you have a support here, And previously, all the buyout happened here. So hopefully this support holds and we will have a trend breakout coming here. So because of that, your stop loss should be below this support somewhere around $9. Somewhere around $9. You should not place your stop loss right at the support, but slightly lower, so somewhere around $9. If you can handle the support, I would like to see this counter back to around $13 like that, which gives you about a potential profit of 24% like that. So I think the risk is worth the reward here, I would say. Okay, so these are the two Hong Kong counters that I find a bit have potential. The last two counter, US counters. This one is of course the Novavax, the vaccine play lah. So Novavax has been a very star counter. So if you bought, I mean this is in hindsight like if you bought it in early 2020 at $7, right? I mean it went all the way up to like $180 lah. So I mean, but that's hindsight. But currently it does seems like it can go back to the previous resistance at 180. You can see it breaching out resistance here. So if you were to play this counter, your stop loss should be I would not recommend all the way here. This is too low already. It's too much. You cannot, nobody can handle such a wide stop loss. So what I would recommend is a slightly more aggressive, somewhere around 105 like that. Somewhere around 105 like below this green candle. So if the price fall back below this green candle, right, then there is no point for you to stay ready, because the reason why I feel bullish is already invalidated if price fall back below this green candle. And the last one, I don't know how to pronounce that. Arcturus Therapeutic Holding. Okay, very bullish, broke out of the resistance already, and it will continue to remain bullish. I mean the momentum is there, but once again you need to be able to handle the stop loss. The stop loss for this will be around 55, 56 like that, somewhere around here. So if you can handle this stop loss, by all means go and chase it. I think this one has quite a good momentum behind it also. Okay, so actually today is quite a long session. We actually take the whole 1 hour. Most of the time the webinar lasts about 30 to 40 minutes. But for those who are not subscribed yet, I do hope that all these free webinar you get something out of it. Even if you have no intention to subscribe, I do hope that you learn something and you are able to apply it to your trading and you don't really need my help anymore. So it's my true wish that some maybe of the 100 people, one of you might able to get something out of it and you no longer need to subscribe. But of course, if you wish to support me, if you wish to continue have this kind of content, then of course please by all means go ahead and subscribe. But please take note that only subscribe on the 1st of December, mainly because the billing cycle is always on the 1st of the month. So if you subscribe today, you'll be paying whatever amount that you subscribe, and on the 1st of December you'll be paying again. So it's like you are paying double within like a very short period. So do wait for it. Do wait for the first day of the month to subscribe if you are somewhere near the end of the month. So I actually written that here also. There are some that who didn't know about it, and I did refund them the this month cycle one. So if you do subscribe like 1 or 2 days ago, right, do contact me. I will refund you the money. I don't want you to pay like $40 now and then 4 days later pay another $40 again. So when you are subscribing, right, please just don't come here, scroll down a bit. Please read this whole section here. There is quite a lot of important information here, right? Especially this post. Yeah, the billing information is here. And after you subscribe, please come and click this post, click this pinned post, and then read all these, see this video, read this, and after you are done with that, you're probably good to go. Okay. So anything you can message me on Patreon. I will reply faster. If you message me on Facebook, I'm really sorry that there is really too much message there. So I might not catch your message. Those that I do catch, right, I try my best to reply. Okay, so have a good and safe trading in the coming weeks. Thank you very much.